In this video, we're going to give you a brief overview of the Janome Skyline S7. The S7 within the Skyline series is a first of many things. So let's go into this machine and give you a good idea of what all you're going to get in the major features. The first thing you'll notice with the Skyline S7, it's a little bit larger than your average sewing machine. It is very portable, but you're going to get the superior quality with the larger motor. You'll get a little bit bigger throat space on this machine. From our needle to the inside of the sewing arm, it's 8 1/4 inches. The average sewing machine on the market is about 5 inches. Skyline S7 is going to give us a full color screen, and I can see exactly what stitch I'm on. I can see how wide the stitch is in true size and the stitch length. So there's no more worrying about having to do a lot of test runs, wasting time, threading fabric, doing sew-offs to see how that stitch is going to look on my garment. I can easily pull up my stitch and I know what stitch I'm on. The machine is going to recommend a presser foot for the stitch that I'm on. I can adjust my width and length settings right here. Everything's real handy, nice and neat. I can do some adjustments on the hard drive of the machine if I need to darken the screen, change the background color. You're not going to do anything to erase anything off the hard drive of the machine. Those are convenience features that you're getting, because if you can't see what you're doing, there's no need in doing it. Now the Skyline S7 is going to give us 240 sewing, quilting, and utility stitches. There are alphabet fonts built in for doing my quilt labels or my garment tags. There are sensors on the S7 that lets me know what needle plate I have on the machine. So it will come with the straight stitch needle plate. And if I have that on and I try to go to a zigzag, the machine's going to beep at me and tell me I've got the straight stitch plate on. That's a safety feature, so I don't accidentally put it on a zigzag. And if you've got a straight stitch plate doing a zigzag, you're going to break a needle or you could knock your machine out of timing. Having that straight stitch needle plate included, that's a huge value, because now I can do straight sewing, I can do piecing, free motion, and not have to worry about my fabric bearing down into my throat plate. The stitches are laid out. They're very useful stitches on the machine with all my utility, the buttonholes, applique, heirloom, all my quilting stitches, satin stitches, the bridge stitches, all my decorative stitches and more are thematic, and I can easily pull up the mode that I want to go to, pull up that stitch, and be able to sew it out, easily changing the length and the width on all the sewing patterns. The S7 is going to be very familiar to you. It's not any more difficult to operate than any other Janome machine, just because there's more built in. It's a well-rounded, very versatile model. I've got the top winding bobbin, I have the horizontal spool pin, and everything's going to be channeled for me all the way down to my needle. And then I have the superior needle threader built in. Now the S7 will give us the 9mm stitch width. That's the widest you can get on any Janome machine that's made. This is the same width as the top of the line machines. So having that built in gives us a whole nother series of presser feet, a whole nother series of sewing applications that we can do with the S7. Now it will have all my computer controls within arm's reach. I can override the speed of the machine here and slow that machine down, speed it up for whatever that I'm wanting to do. I do have the start stop button, so if I don't want to use the included foot control, I can easily just plug that foot control in and use it, or hit the start stop button and use that to power my machine. I do have the built-in scissor that will snip my bobbin and top thread. Now here's one feature that's added that you don't see on some of the other Skyline models, is the ability to raise and lower the presser foot just by the touch of a button. This comes in extremely handy when I'm at the end of a seam, or if I'm doing applique work and I want to raise that presser foot up and turn my garment or turn a corner. I don't have to worry about coming around here and using my lift and doing all those things. Just right there in front of me, handy. There is a needle up, needle down feature. There's times I want that needle to stop in the fabric, and there's times I want it to be out of the fabric. You can set it so when you let off your foot control or you hit stop, it'll raise or lower depending on what you're wanting to do. I do have the auto lock feature built in. Auto lock will tie that stitch off for me underneath, so the back tack is hidden underneath the garment and out of the way. I do have traditional reverse here, and then we've mentioned the start stop built in. Now when I raise my presser foot up, I do have extra high lift under my presser foot. So if I'm working with thicker materials, I'm able to get that under my foot and not have to worry about sewing it. If you're into quilting, when you're doing maybe side seams on a pair of blue jeans, or if you're even getting a little bit heavier sewing with thicker materials, this will come in extremely handy, and you don't find this on every sewing machine that's on the market. And the Janome has you covered on that. This machine will have the 7-point feed dog system built in. This is touching my fabric in 7 places. So on lighter weight material, having more surface area touching my feed dogs and touching the fabric is critical, because it's going to reduce puckering. It's going to keep that fabric flat as my needle's penetrating the garment, reducing the puckering. And if you have concerns about even more puckering, you have included with the S7 the AccuFeed walking foot system. Now this is the top of the line walking foot system that's on the market that Janome makes. This system right here has more soles you can get for it. So if I want to have my walking foot on the machine, I can get, and this comes with, the standard sole will come with it, but there's a 1/4 inch foot, there's a stitch in the ditch foot, an open toe foot, a straight stitch foot, as well as there's a zipper foot you can get when I've got the walking foot engaged. And what that's going to do, there's a set of feed dogs that's grabbing your fabric at the top, and it's working in ratio with the feed dogs built into the machine to feed a thick piece of material all the way through. Or if you're working with a thinner piece of material, maybe it has a slick finish to it, or it's very difficult to thread. Some materials are made that way. You'd want to use the AccuFeed system for that as well. The accessory tray has the door on the front that opens up. I can easily get my attachments, see what I have. And I have the little tray here to keep all my pressure feed. There's a lot of accessories that comes with the S7. I can keep all that stored nice and neat here. And then when I remove that accessory tray, there's a lot bigger, a lot longer sewing arm on this machine. Here's where I push a button and it removes my needle plate. There's no more screws I have to work with, and our needle plate does have a place where I can screw a seam gauge down. A Ken Sewing Center will carry all the optional accessories for the Skyline S7. If you're doing a certain project and you want to know what pressure foot we'd recommend, you can give us a call. You may already own it. You may already have it standard, or if you need to purchase that, we have great prices on all the accessories. Our tray can go back on nice and neat. It's real easy to do. On my back side of the sewing arm is my drop feed lever. So if I want to do free motion, if I'm darning a hole, putting in a button, I can lower those feed dogs and keep that from feeding the fabric. I do have the built-in place for my knee lift here. Knee lift comes in really handy if I want to keep my hands on the material, and having the larger throat space at 8 1/4 inches is huge, because now I can have more room to work with. It's going to be more comfortable. I can keep my hands on the fabric and use my knee to raise and lower that pressure foot for free motion, or just if I'm appliquing something, I need to just raise the pressure foot for a minute and put it right back down. I can be turning my material, and I'm going to have a lot better accuracy, and my project's going to look so much better. Because of the larger motor built into the Skyline S7, I'm going to be able to sew a lot heavier materials. Here I'm going to show you, I'm going to sew probably the heaviest thing that you may sew, or something that's very common. This is 8 layers of very tough denim. That's about the side seam on a pair of denim blue jeans. So I'm going to raise that pressure foot up. You see that extra high lift? That's really nice to have. And having the wider feed dog just grabbing my fabric, even on thicker materials like this, it's going to grab that fabric for me. If I need to adjust my pressure, I can do that as well. But I'm going to show you the nice part about having a top drop-in bobbin system. We got the machine on straight stitch. The machine's going to show me what stitch I have on. We're going to back that speed down just a little bit. Now I'm going to start sewing. Back it down a little bit more so I can show you. When I crawl down from 8 layers of denim all the way down to this cotton, it's going to crawl down onto the material. It's not going to compromise anything as far as tensions on my machine. It's not going to pucker the fabric. It's just going to continue to go right on. So we'll speed that up just a little bit. Now I'm going to put in the stretch material and show you I'm going from extreme heavy to a cotton through multiple layers, and now I'm going through the stretch material. We'll speed it up. When I get to the end of my seam, I can hit the auto lock, and auto lock ties that stitch off for me underneath, so that's hidden and out of the way. I'm going to hit my scissor. It's going to snip the bobbin and top thread for me. It automatically raised the pressure foot up for me, and that's nice to have. So now I went from extreme heavy to cotton They're stretch material, and there's no puckering at all. The automatic tension comes into play, helps me there. I can override that tension if I want to. The Ken Sewing Center is your authorized Janome dealer. We carry everything for the S7. My staff is very knowledgeable, can help you with any feature that you need. We can compare this to other models in the Janome line or other brands as well and help you find the right machine for you. We've been an authorized dealer since 1971. This is one of the first brands we brought in when we started our business here. And we're going to be here to help you. Any machine that you purchase from us, you get our premium support package. And what that means is you can pick up the phone and give us a call, and you can talk with somebody that knows sewing machines, that can help you operate the machine if you feel like you're having a problem, can troubleshoot with you. You're always welcome to visit our Muscle Shoals, Alabama location. We have a full retail store. We can sit down in front of a machine with you and help you and give you lessons. That's free for the life you own the machine. You can come as many times as you want to. We'll be glad to have you. Feel free to check out our website for more images and product information. Drop us an email or give us a call anytime. We'll be glad to help you.